Hello! This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I'm Magpie, and I feel like a great weight has been lifted. What what happened over the past couple of episodes? Everything is hazy.
We went to the spirit realm, and it was pretty hype, actually.
We were banished to the Shadow Realm.
I'm still a gourd. I am still a gourd, and I'm not gonna stop being a gourd.
Well, I mean,
Are
relatively soon you'll stop being a gourd.
Are you a ghost gourd now?
I'm a
Because
ghost
that would
gourd.
be cool. I'm into that.
I'm Blackle, by the way.
Blackle the ghost gourd. Hi.
Hi.
I don't pretend to understand your life choices, but I support you nonetheless, my friend.
I am Joey, and after last month, it was fun. But I am just a regular human being again. So,
I thought you were a furry.
I mean, I'm a furry too, Blackle, but you didn't have to put me on blast for that on our anime podcast.
I did, though.
Yeah, but you're not a furry like people think of furries. You ain't got a costume.
No, I just like creatures.
You just like creatures.
Gotta love a good creature.
Yes.
Speaking of some poor, unfortunate creatures, let's do the news.
Yep.
I'm not going to cover this in depth because I don't understand it, but I did see an article about Evangelion. The pilots from Evangelion are apparently going to be isekai'd into a mobile game.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Called the Shironeko Project, which is not notably in the Evangelion universe. Possibly one of the only cases of the universe you get isekai'd into being the one you want to stay in.
Yeah.
So they get isekai'd into a better universe, or
they're just like, now you, Shinji, now you can go home, and it's just like, you can't fucking make me.
He's like, no, I'll stay here.
You fucking try it.
Is this gonna be a gacha game, or?
I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. Oh look, Mary's here too. I don't understand her either. I haven't seen the rebuilds.
Is Dead by Daylight a gacha game?
Yes.
Dead by Daylight is a gotcha game.
Yeah.
Also fucking Kaworu is here.
Oh,
Kaworu.
Next DVD killer.
It just makes you question your own sexuality, and then the match ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our only other piece of news on the docket here. Apparently, all of the branded Gundam cafes are going to close by March 31st of next year. There was apparently a huge string of them that have been operating for more than a decade across Japan, and now they're all going to be closed for reasons that the company doesn't care to expound upon. But I have my suspicions. I fucking told you they're going to abandon the Earth. They all moved into that fucking building. It's going to take off. They're tying up loose ends right now.
They're preparing. Preparing for launch. What? Do you know? So it was a lot of these? I didn't know that this was a common thing.
Yeah, apparently they were just Gundam branded cafes.
That's interesting.
They have cool entrances. At least one of them does. Let me post it. See, it looks like
oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Looks like the RX-78's head.
I love that.
He's got his little crest.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, anyway,
go now for our Gundam coffees.
Yeah. Let's are they closed yet, or they're about to close?
March next year, I believe.
Next year.
I know what we're doing.
If you want,
Gonna dip into that podcast fund. That huge podcast fund.
Yeah,
Podcast grant.
the war chest.
You know, we already dipped in for all that weird Ava merch. This
That
is the
was
next
worth
thing.
it.
Yeah, you're right.
So, seeing as I was overtaken by a fell spirit for all of October, I don't think I should pick this time. So it's going to be up to one of you.
It's
Yeah,
me,
it's gonna be Blackle.
Black Hole. I'm going to pick an anime that my girlfriend Tetra recommended
Okay.
Oh.
called
All right.
Platinum End.
Oh. All
I've-
right.
Platinum End.
I've never heard of it,
Me
Yep.
either.
so it's good for the show.
Excellent.
Go Gadget Wings.
Oh. All right.
Go Gadget, die.
Go gadget.
Kill.
Go gadget gun.
Go Gadget suspend free will.
So yeah. Who wants this blurb, and then I'll do the rundown.
I will
already-
take the blurb.
Okay. Joey will
This-
take the blurb.
Oh no, this is this. Oh no, this is the wrong channel.
It's
There we go.
fine. Ever since he lost his family in an explosion, Kakehashi has lived a life of pain and despair. Every day he endures abuse at the hands of his relatives who took him in. As his anguish steadily chips away at his will to live, he is eventually pushed to the brink. Prepared to throw it all away, he stands on the edge of a precipice and takes the leap. However, instead of falling to his death, he enters a trance where he meets a winged being who claims to be his guardian angel. Named Nase, the angel offers him 2 priceless abilities and convinces him to go on living. When Mirai experiences the marvel of his new powers firsthand, he gets a taste of the freedom that was locked away from him for so long. Armed with Nase's gifts, Mirai is flung into a showdown with 12 other individuals, one of whom will be chosen to become the next god. In stark contrast to when he wanted to end his life, Mirai is now prepared to do whatever it takes to protect his bleak chance at happiness, lest it be wrenched from his grasp forever.
Next time on America's Top God.
So yes, we get some battle royale esque
Yeah,
stuff going.
It's gonna
in
be
here.
one of those. It's becoming a stock anime plot at this point, but so yeah, let's get into this rundown, shall we?
Yes.
So, it's graduation day, which pegs like Mirai's age at actually quite young.
Mhm.
So I would say he's like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
But
Teenager.
it's graduation day, and everyone else in his class is very excited about where they'll go next, and some are tearful about separating from their friends. But Mirai has no expression on his face. Because
Yes.
Mirai's plan after school is to go to the top of the highest building he can find and kill himself.
Yes.
Because it turns out that whenever your family dies and you're adopted by your aunt and uncle, sometimes they're just bastard people.
Yes.
So he was living that Harry Potter boy under the stairs life, but with no possibility of
No
becoming a
hope.
wizard. And at least the Harry Potter uncle didn't burn him with cigarettes.
Yeah.
God, Harry
Like,
Potter
they
would be
were
a little
really-
bit darker if that was the case.
Yeah, this one goes into some stuff.
Gonna put this out there. Kind of dark.
Yeah.
This one.
If you're gonna be watching this one, be careful.
The first half of it is miserably sad.
Yes.
Mhm. I was a little worried when it started because he jumps off the building, and I was like, "Oh God, please don't be an isekai! Please don't be an isekai!"
I
And he's
know.
like,
I thought
"Oh."
the same thing.
He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I'm like going to heaven. And I was like, I don't know if it's great to depict suicide as the start of some new adventure, but he doesn't actually die.
You know, he does get saved mid free fall by a fat assed angel, and
Mm-hmm.
and she
we'll have to talk about that.
She does carry him off to another building top to excitedly explain to him the new circumstances of his life. Because she has decided to bring him happiness, because his last words before he jumped were, "I wanted to be happy."
That's so sad. Alexa played Despacito.
He's a sad boy. He doesn't really believe her, but also can't really not believe her, because she suspended him in midair when he was hurtling towards the earth.
I like how he doesn't really react that much to it. He's just like, oh, this shit now.
Well, he's got it. I have to give it to them on them. Well, you know, let's continue with the rundown.
Yeah, let's have the rundown and then
talk about character
get
traits
into
later.
The deets.
She explains to him, despite the fact that he doesn't really believe her, that she can give him 2 gifts to bring him happiness, which are the angel wings, which can carry him anywhere and move him faster than human sight, and the red arrow, which can which is where the show starts to seem more sinister, which can make anyone fall deeply in love with him.
Yes, it's horrifying.
And he's given the choice between the 2. And I was sitting there and I was just being like, the only moral choice is the wings.
Yeah, of course.
because the other choice is inherently immoral.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a perversion of another human being's free will.
Yes, we will have to get into that for sure.
But he just straight up doesn't fucking believe her. So he's just like, yeah, whatever, give me both. And she says, okay, gives him both.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I thought I had to pick. And she's just like, we just say that for tradition's sake. So he's still incredulous, but he's just, and she's just like, try flying, and he's just like, what do I say? Angel wings come forth, and come forth they do, and rocket him into the goddamn sky.
Yes, it does look fun.
A scene that is actually also heart-wrenchingly sad, because you're seeing someone experience joy for the first time in their life.
Mm-hmm. He cries a little bit.
He weeps.
Yeah. And he's like, why am I crying? Because he doesn't even know why.
He goes for a tour. He ends up resting on a fucking Aztec pyramid.
Yeah.
And he started in Japan, so
he also had a small detour to Ireland.
Was it Ireland, or was it just a Catholic church around
maybe
St. Patrick's?
Who knows?
He's like, why is it all green? And then he sees the Irish flag with the shamrock in the middle, and he's like, oh, this reminds me of some. And then we get some indistinct, unplaced
old memory,
from him giving some girl a shamrock, and then
4-leaf clover.
Yeah.
You just know that girl is going to be one of the 13 people he has to fight. Anyway, go on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would. My running theory theories are either one of the other contestants, actually the angel herself, or he's dead. But anyway. He's chilling on the pyramid, and kind of enjoying his new abilities. Whenever she drops the fucking bombshell on him that his aunt and uncle killed his parents for insurance money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then enslaved him. Like whatever the fuck they were from Les Mis.
Yeah.
It's like if the Dursleys killed Harry's parents, which I'd actually love to read a fanfic where that happens. That'd be hilarious.
That would be interesting for sure.
They don't use magic. They just show up and shoot them
with gun.
They just did little like this is they reveal that God work on wizard like.
But anyway, yeah, he's notably shocked by this, and he doesn't know how to process it. And she says, "Well, if you don't believe me, just use the red arrow on them, and they'll tell you." And she's right.
Mm-hmm.
So he does go do that.
I don't think he he shows up, and his aunt already proves that she's a piece of shit. Because as soon as he comes in the door, she's like, "Great, you're here. Go buy me a new lighter."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the level of like adult abuse that he is suffering under is I'm almost incredulous about, because it would be, I feel like it would be difficult to start subjecting a teenager to that. But
maybe. I mean, they've broken him long before this, so
yeah, but after a certain point, like, you're gonna place the straw that breaks the camel's back.
you would think, but also like it's surprising like what people will endure when they don't like think that they have a choice. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't
anyway,
really know any better.
he whips out the red arrow and doesn't appear to be like prepared for the level of like immediate and apparently romantic attraction that she feels for him.
Yeah, she gets horny. It's kind of scary.
Instantaneously, yeah, it's quite
which
bad.
puts him off balance for a second, but then he rebounds with, "Hey, did you people kill my parents?" And she admits that it was her husband's idea, and it totally was their thing. And yeah, she completely shocks him. Eventually, the husband bursts in, and it's just like, "What are you doing? I can't sleep. Why the fuck are you telling him this?"
Yeah.
And reeling in a daze, he's just like, you're monsters. You should both die." And being madly in love with him, she says, "Okay," and fucking just stabs herself in the throat with a kitchen knife.
She just does it.
The uncle no longer has a speaking role, seeing that.
Yeah, he does go completely incoherent for the rest of the whole entire scene.
The rest of forever, yeah.
He has an epiphany about his family and how his mother would have wanted him to live to attain happiness, and how it was an obligation of his to live a happy life, and how he hadn't been and tried to kill himself. And then he presumably leaves, because the next scene takes place in a hotel room 3 days later, because he apparently mind controls some hotel staff, and they just let him stay.
Yeah.
And he comes up with the problem of, "I want to live my life now. I don't have any money, and riches derived from like deception or theft do not please me because they are immoral."
And the angel is like, "What do you mean? Let's just kill him. You've got another weapon to kill them with."
Yeah, he apparently also has the white arrow, which just kills people.
Peacefully.
Peacefully.
So who can say if it's bad or not?
It just kills
Who can say if it's bad or not?
Who can say if murder is wrong? We just don't know.
And then she lays it on him. Well, first of all, those are actually apparently used to assist suicides.
Yeah.
Or put people out of their misery if they don't know if they don't seem like they're coming back.
We just don't know if it's bad or not.
And then she lays it on him that, hey, God is missing, which is something she mentioned earlier. And there are currently 13 people with their own personal angels, like him, competing to be God.
Yep. So good luck out there, buckaroo.
So good luck out there. This is after he makes a long speech looking out the window about how he doesn't want to use his powers to acquire anything special. He just wants like a normal life with, get a job,
Oh.
maybe start a family,
I just want a peaceful life.
experience love, like normal people desire.
And the angel's just in the background being like, well, I had this whole, like, there's this whole tournament thing, and, like, I can't cancel it, so, like, you're kind of like...
Listen, you're kind of signed up for this, but, I mean, you were going to kill yourself anyway.
Uh-huh. And then he just has a moment where he's just like, what have I gotten myself into? Uh-oh.
He says he's embarked on an outrageous path.
Yes.
And then we're also treated to a small scene of two of the others engaging in some conflict. There's a dude in the back of a limo who is fully enjoying his red arrow powers, only to be interrupted by someone in power armor.
He's wearing, like, a
You have
common
a
rider
fucking
outfit.
Sentai suit on, essentially.
He looks like he... Oh my god, he looks like he's from... Give me a second. Oh my god.
So... If we're through the rundown, I have to say, the very exact first thing that I wrote down on my piece of paper, just from like catching the exact first glimpse of Mirai, was I wrote, "Look at this light Yagami motherfucker," and I think that I called it. I think that I am spot on.
I think he might be an inverse light Yagami.
Maybe, well, we don't know that yet. Like, either he's going to, like, they both were thrown into similar situations, right? Like, they were both just kind of handed enormous power by a horrifying being, and it just depends on how they're going to use it. So, is he going to go down the path, well, which it seems like they might be taking his direction, which is, this is immoral. I'm not gonna, kill my whole uncle and his... The angel did suggest killing the uncle and his children for the insurance money. So, like...
Yeah.
This is the kind of morality...
She clearly has... she clearly is amoral.
Yeah, I think
also,
most angels are.
I was thinking of fucking Vanquish. Anyway... The guy looks like he was from Vanquish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he could go down that path where he's like, no, I reject all of this bullshit. Or he could go down the light Yagami. He could become like, I will make my own morals and, my happiness is what's important here. And I think that would be an interesting direction to take this in, personally.
I don't think he'll do that. And there's an important distinction between him and Light, which is Light could have stopped at any point.
This is true, but...
We've had long discussions about the fact that Light is possibly one of the dumbest people to deploy the Death Note.
That's true.
You could use it to affect, like, great and positive societal change, and he does nothing of value with it.
I just think that this is an interesting setup for something similar. I agree with you. I don't know that they're going to take it, but it feels like almost a waste.
I'll put it this way, is that my perception of the character of Mirai is that he has a much stronger moral core than Light does. Light was very much he was very much ends justify the means kind of person, whereas Mirai clearly does not believe that. He doesn't want to steal from people, much less kill them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he could just be going down that path slowly. Like, I don't know if they would make him do that kind of stuff in the first episode. Like, they gave him this, like, peaceful death arrow, and I'm just like, okay, he's definitely going to use... But it does seem like it's setting up to be more of a battle royale type deal, like...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. My notion is that it's actually more about Light Yagami than Mirai, so it's not really... Not really pertinent, but it's just like, I don't think Light was a good person to begin with.
No.
I think he was always an asshole.
This is absolutely true. But, I mean, that doesn't preclude Mirai from going down this dark path.
Yeah. I mean, this was like a Mirai Nikki style show,
Mirai Nikki.
and I didn't like Mirai Nikki.
Hmm.
And
This is
I
more
don't.
interesting, and like I feel like the characters are more interesting, and the plot is more interesting. But go ahead.
I agree with that.
I just don't think I like the whole like, oh, you're in like a battle royale. Like I think I'm just totally burnt out at the whole battle royale thing.
I could
And
see
I
that.
don't like it.
It is funny that Mirai Nikki and then this guy's name is also Mirai.
I mean, it's sort of the same stakes between the shows. Like Mirai Nikki is like, oh, who's going to be the next Time Lord? And like
Yeah.
Time Lord's something different, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
Anyway, who's going to be the next god of time? And then this one is
something
just
like
going to be
that.
the next god in general.
Who's going to be the next Abrahamic
Yeah.
god?
Yeah.
By the way, I have to say I actually appreciate the fucking weird aesthetics that they have chosen to give everything involving like
Those-
God. Because
I did like the art of the show. I liked the art of the show.
like at the end when they're talking about like who's gonna be God, it's like there's like a mountain of angels leading up to like one man, like an Adam figure in a
Yeah.
fetal position, glowing with power, and there's fucking
It's
rainbows and shit everywhere.
it's like scary, which I think is how angels should be. Angels should be terrifying.
Mhm.
And they should definitely have fat asses.
They have to have fat ass. Can we talk about
She's
'Cause-
apparently typical of angels as well. We saw another one during the program.
there and sometimes she would be flying by with her rump out and I would be like, wow, they really just made her just so thick, didn't they? Every now and then you just have to catch a glimpse of that plump angel ass.
Also, this show casually confirms there's an afterlife, so I guess.
Does
But no hell.
Because his aunt dies and the angel like a different angel comes and lifts her like soul out of the dead body.
Takes her away.
Just floats her away.
To somewhere.
I think it is like interesting. Like he doesn't seem to have any like remorse for like his aunt, which like she was bad, but like she died a horrible death. And I also think that it was interesting how when he's talking about his like happiness and stuff, like her blood pools towards him and like gets all over his hand and it's just like dripping all off of his hand, and I thought that was interesting symbolically.
Yeah, I think he was having like a moment there about an epiphany about his mortality and the way that he was prepared to waste his life.
Yes, but he didn't feel guilt for the murder that he just did.
They may get into that, and also he didn't do a murder.
He kind of did. I mean, it was on accident. It was more of an accidental death.
Murder requires intent.
It was
True.
like a brain control manslaughter event.
Yeah, we could call it that.
It was a whoops.
It was an oopsie doopsie. Did a fucky wucky there.
And this lady abused him for most of his life, so even though it was a whoops and he appeared to be visibly horrified at what she'd done, it might be hard for him to blame himself for it.
Yeah.
He clearly feels bad about like abusing the fucking trust of hotel people he hasn't even met. So
I think that the morality in this show is very interesting, and I am curious what they're going to do with it. Which, again, if they don't, it feels like a waste, but we'll see, I suppose.
I think they're going to do some interesting things with it. I just think that it's going to be his job to be the upright protagonist and attempt to like resist the temptations that are placed before him.
Perhaps.
Because Nase is clearly an amoral pragmatist.
Yeah. The way you guys talk about like this show handling moral subjects, I'm kind of also sort of interested in where they'll take it, but also like I don't have any trust in the show.
a lot of shows just don't follow through on the interesting premises that they present, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know what? How do we feel about watching more of this? Because if I watch more of this, I don't know if I will, but I'll tell Blackle about it.
I would like to hear where it goes. I would like to hear if it goes in interesting places, because otherwise
I
anywhere.
actually
wanna
am
watch it
quite
myself.
interested in watching. You know, I could see myself watching, a couple more episodes to see how we feel about because you can kind of maybe get more of an idea within a couple more episodes of if it seems like they're gonna do stuff with these themes, or if it just seems like they're gonna just jump into action-y. But
well, the powers are so simple that I don't think action show is in the cards. I think it's going to be an outmaneuvering show. It's going to be more akin to Death Note than a
movie,
than another show. But
I don't know. I think I can't remember exactly when in the show, but it was very early on when the angel mentioned something about oh, you've gotten all these powers now. I'm just like, I just know. I think it was the moment he got his she was talking about the red arrow or something. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a battle anime. And I got I got very upset. Not upset, but I groaned a lot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not my cup of tea. So I don't know.
Like I said, I don't think there's enough meat for them to run a shonen style fight anime on it.
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily fight, but mental battle where the
I can see that.
Each other. Even another Death Note, I'm not totally into.
Well,
that's my thing.
I'll be real. I'm not even sure I was into the original Death Note. Parts of that are real fucking dumb.
Some were. I quite liked Death Note personally, but
I only watched the original Japanese live action movies.
Anyway, if there's somebody that you would kill with an arrow given to you by God, you should rethink that and maybe talk to us about it at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That's the word, not the number. You can shoot us with your red arrows over on Twitter. Actually, don't do that either.
That's not going to work.
I like how the majority of every time we introduce our Twitter, it's like, you can go do that. Wait, don't do that.
No, wait, don't do that.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter @oneepisodecast. Tweet us wholesome images of angels without fat asses, please.
Or with,
I guess.
So Mirai already made a mistake, which makes sense because you'd make a mistake put in this situation. But I pretty much know exactly how I would have solved this problem, which is I probably would have gone home and shot them both with the red one, and I'd just be like, "Turn yourself into the police right now."
Yeah, this is
for the murder you did.
Yeah,
this is true.
Apparently that is what he did to his dad. I read the Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Well,
He's got a good head on his
spoilers.
shoulders.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.